I have got some breaking news though, folks, that just came in on the stimulus. And I want to get to you the second stimulus that's just coming in now from Congress, and a big move from Democrats in the House of Representatives. So here's the very latest on the stimulus. I want to go through this. House Democrats are closing in on a new stimulus proposal, and I want to get to this data as soon as I can here. And I'm just reading it along with you. So I'm going to try to get as much details out of this as I can. But House Democrats are putting the finishing touches on their next legislative response. Now, let me just put this in context first here, folks. House Republicans or House Democrats have said that there was a number of different proposals they were looking at. The Emergency Money for the People Act, which would be $2,000 a month. There was the cancel rent, cancel mortgage proposal. There was the Boost America Act. There was a whole bunch of these different proposals. Senate Republicans have basically said, we don't have an appetite for another stimulus right now. Mitch McConnell said, I want to focus on putting judges in judgeship roles right now that are vacant. That's our first order of business. House Democrats, though, saying, no, people need a second stimulus. And look, you just heard these housing numbers that I was talking about. We're on the verge of a housing collapse. So if Congress wants to stave off another massive housing crisis, people are going to need to be able to pay their rent and their mortgages. They're going to need a second stimulus. Otherwise, we're going to have a major housing collapse on top of this unemployment collapse that we're already seeing. So here's the bill that's being drafted right now in the House of Representatives. This is the bill, and it is expected to include, I'm reading it now, more than $750 billion in aid to state and local governments. That was very important to Nancy Pelosi. She said she wanted definitely state and local governments to get money. We also heard from Senator Sherrod Brown in the Senate. He's a Democrat in the Senate. He put up a proposal today on the Senate side which would do state and local government reprieve. That means medical workers, firefighters, police departments that have been crushed as well by this. But Mitch McConnell, again, has said, no state and local government aid. So if this fizzles out, it's the Senate going to kill it. But let's go back to the data here, shall we? So $750 billion in aid to state and local governments, as well as another round of direct support to Americans. This is according to interviews in the Wall Street Journal and lawmakers and aides. Leaders also say they're interested in extending the enhanced unemployment benefits, but they haven't provided details about that. Now that's important. Many of you have said, look, I haven't even got my unemployment yet. I mean, how many people watching right now have got your unemployment? You filed for it. Did you receive it? Let me know in the comments. House Democrats also want to increase access to coronavirus testing. This is the big problem, folks, testing. So these numbers that we saw earlier today, this is absolutely troubling. Look at this. Take a look at your screen right now, and I want you to understand what I'm showing you. This, I couldn't believe it. My wife and I were talking about this today. She's like, look at this. This is unbelievable. So it looks like, if you look at the graph in the middle there, you see that purple line in the middle, it looks like, wow, the United States is really bending the curve and doing a good job, right? We've gotten past the worst of this. But guess what? When you take New York out of it, you remove New York from the data, which was crushed. Remember how terrible New York was? Well, guess what? They've totally bent the curve. New York has really bounced back. They're down, what are they down? Let's look at this. They're down now. New York is down 38% in cases right now. 38%. But look at the rest of the country right now, exploding with coronavirus cases. Minnesota is up 155%. Nebraska is up 57%. All these in brown are really going up and up right now. And if you're white here, this means you're neutral. You're pretty much where you were. But look at that data again. If you remove New York from the data set, the cases in America are exploding right now. This is not getting better. And now we're reopening beaches and we're reopening restaurants. I mean, I hate to say that this is premature, but folks, what do you think? Tell me, do you think this is premature? I mean, this is scary, scary, scary stuff. So back to this proposal. We don't have enough testing, and that's what they want. They want testing in this new bill. They want safety protections for frontline workers who are at risk of contracting and spreading the virus. And they want to expand internet coverage for hard-to-reach Americans so they can do homeschooling and those types of things. A lot of poor families don't even have internet coverage. So how can they get virtual classrooms with their teachers? So Speaker Pelosi says she has not talked with Republicans or the administration about the House's bill. But she said she hopes many of the proposals in the bill would have bipartisan support. She said, we're not drawing any red lines in the sand or anything like that. That's good. So she's not saying, we're not going to pass anything unless there's state and local governments involved in this. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, Democrat from Maryland, also said negotiations were preparing. They're talking with talks with Republicans and administration, but they first needed to reach an agreement on the Democratic side of this. So we don't know the full details yet, but we do know, here's what we do know at this hour, $750 billion in additional aid to state and local governments, as well as another round of direct payments to you. So that's good. That's good news. So that's the first bill that we're hearing about proposal. We don't have the details yet. We don't know if it's going to be $2,000 per month. Let me see if I can dig in further on some of this data here. Yeah, we don't know. That's what they're saying right now. So Republicans are saying, look, we can debate the amount. That's always part of the debate. But number one, we need to get back to Congress, because a lot of people are saying, look, they've been away, they've been out of town. They need to get back and get back to work. Mrs. Pelosi is assembling the House bill based on feedback from committees. So that's good news. So we could end up seeing this Economic for the People, or this Money for the People Act, which is the $2,000 a month, because that was already being processed in committee. So she says, based on feedback from committees, which had until this week to submit their proposals. So the House is gone, right? The House is not in Congress right now. They are back home trying to come up with ideas while they're away on Zoom calls or whatever. The Senate came back this week, and the Senate was focused on not you at all. They were focusing on other things. And so if it comes out of committee, we had 16 co-sponsors of that Money for the People Act, which was $2,000 a month. That's great news. That was already being worked on. So if you can kind of read between the lines a little bit, what you have to do with Congress sometimes, it seems like the one bill that had, the one proposal that had the most legs is that $2,000 a month for a single person, $4,000 for a couple, and an additional $500 on top of that for a dependent, and that would go out to every American over the age of 16. That one's the one that had the most traction among Democrats in the House. So again, breaking news out of Washington. House Speaker Pelosi says she has not talked with any Republicans on this, not talked with President Trump. She's getting some preliminary pieces put together on a package that will propose another massive round of aid. But President Trump and Republicans in the Senate are saying, hold on, let's use caution on spending anything new right now. They're saying, hold on. So let me reiterate once more. The bill that is being drafted is expected to include $750 billion more in aid to state and local governments, as well as another round of direct support to Americans, according to interviews and reporting this afternoon from the Wall Street Journal. Excuse me. So this is some breaking news here, folks, on the second stimulus and when it's coming. But that, coupled with a housing crisis that we're about to face on the retail side and among big banks or lending right now, these people go out of work, can't afford their mortgages, they don't have any money to pay the bills. Something's got to give here, or we're going to have another housing crisis, and it's going to be devastating. So we'll see what the White House does. I'm curious. We still don't know what President Trump wants. We've heard that he wants the payroll tax cut. He said that on Fox News on Sunday night. He wants a payroll tax cut. I've said that's great for people with payroll that have a paycheck. But that's not going to help the people that are unemployed, which is going to be out tomorrow. We'll get those numbers tomorrow. Those jobless numbers will be over, I think they're going to be over 40 million. I think we'll see over 40 million tomorrow. That's my bet, because we saw 3.5 million just this week. So Troubling times, but that is the latest on the second stimulus bill, folks. And we will see you tomorrow morning with another show.